The next stretch will be for the glutes. So, Callie, I'd like for you to get up against that ladder and then take one leg up on top of the barrel and into an external rotation at a 90-degree angle at the knee. Now, I want you to note something. A lot of times when people do this particular position, it's very similar to a pose in yoga called the pigeon pose. In the pigeon pose, what you'll often see is that this leg is completely flat on the ground and the yoga practitioners pancake their body on top of their leg. Now, Callie is very flexible and she's able to go a little bit further down, but however, the reason I have this leg at this angle is this. The human hip in external rotation, when this leg bone is flexed forward, so her leg bone is in flexion, it only has an external rotation capability of about 50 to 60 degrees. So what does that mean? Her leg bone is rotated out. This is external rotation, even though her foot is in. That means that this leg right here is what a normal human leg will look like. So therefore, a lot of people, when they see this, they think they have to get into that pigeon pose position, and they'll try to force this knee onto this barrel. And if they do that, first of all, you could actually hurt the hip capsule. You're stretching that beyond its capability. Now, if you do see somebody, a yoga practitioner, perform that particular stretch, they've trained their bodies in order to be able to get into that position. If you haven't trained the body, then asking that right off the bat is going to be a little bit too much. It could actually hurt you. So therefore, watch what happens if somebody does try to put that leg down. So Callie, I'd like you to put the knee down here. Okay, and then place your hands right onto the barrel and then come forward. All right, beautiful. Now come on back up. I'm going to show you what happens. So stay right here. Notice what happened. Her knee bent significantly. It lost its 90-degree angle. So this foot is now way down here near the other hip. That's the only way that you can get this leg into this position and therefore go forward. If you were to maintain a 90-degree angle at the knee, what would happen is this. So come on back, hold on. Right here, preserving a 90-degree angle and with your hip backwards means that this gap between the knee and your barrel is likely going to happen. So what I'd recommend is this. If you are attempting to do this type of stretch, tell your client that they may not be able to get the knee down. So you remove that expectation in the first place. And then place your hands on the barrel, support your body with the hands, almost like you're doing a little bit of a push-up, and then as you come forward, push the hip back and away. Correct. Therefore, what's happening is instead of putting all this pressure directly on the lateral side of the knee, you are dispersing it again through the glutes right here. Now, this type of position here, if there's no strain on the knee, is actually what I consider a little bit more of an advantageous stretch. However, if your client experiences any strain at all in the knee, then you want to stop that. One way to get around that may be to elevate that knee and support it in some fashion. One way you can get around the problem of supporting your client's knee is to use something like this, a Bosu. So if you have one of these in your studio or at home, you could use this curve of the Bosu to support the knee. So notice that I've put Callie in the same general position. We've gotten this external rotation in the hip. I'm going to have her lean forward. So the hands are on the Bosu and then come forward. Now notice what just happened. The leg is supported by this entire structure. Previously, on the ladder barrel, only the foot and the outside of the ankle was touching the barrel, and all of this right here was unsupported up in midair. And if her knee's a little bit weak, if she comes forward, there's a lot of lateral stress on that structure. Here, however, this Bosu is supporting the entire length of her shin and her lower leg. So therefore, even if she were to press down with a bit of force, what would happen was this large surface area would support that, so there's minimal to no stress upon the knee. So this might be something that you want to address or perhaps use if you have this type of equipment in order to get this type of stretch in the glutes.